is Black money?
About economic liberation and freedom.
Critical conversations to invigorate our communities through Black-led CDFIs.
But most importantly, we want people to create wealth.
When we look at our communities, we still see a big disinvestment.
Going from resourceful to resourced.
CDFIs have that high touch. They understand their customers. They know how to reach out to those customers. They stay in touch with those customers.
We are trying to create job makers and not just job takers.
Yeah, I've even heard it said recently that great leaders don't lead from the top down, they lead from the bottom up because they're actually lifting everybody.
We have to do more than just being a regular lender.
Don't give me this story about if I teach you how to fish. Give me some money.
What's that? Oh, we're live. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I was brushing my beard.
Oh my.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are coming from. Welcome to LinkedIn Live. This is Justin Minott with the African American Alliance of CDFI CEOs, and I am here with the wonderful, magnificent soul, Lindora Baker, president of Xtreme Measures Women's Business Center. Lindora, so good to have you here.
It's great to be here too, and I really know that I'm going to enjoy this. This is
we're gonna have a good time. That part's not negotiable,
yeah.
And I love that it's live because you just never know what's gonna happen. But the Alliance gives me the mic. I blame them.
Okay, I will. Okay.
All right. So, Lindora, your story is so incredible. You're doing this beautiful work in Shreveport, Louisiana. How did you get to be this Lindora Baker? Give us the making of Lindora.
I was born with it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you were. No, talk your stuff. I love it.
No, I'm kidding. Well, I don't, and it does hinge back onto the way I was raised. I was raised in a community that was small, and back in this, I came into the world in 1960. So, I was in the small community, and where all of the adults in the community, grandmothers, mothers, grandfathers, fathers, they all had the voice. We just did what they told us to do. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I'm grateful for to this day, Justin, is, and I'm sorry, can I call you Justin?
You can. Yeah.
Okay. One of the things I'm grateful, Justin, is that that what they taught me instilled inside of me, and it raised up in me, and I carry it today. I live by it today. I live by what I actually was raised on. So that's how I got to this point today, is by living what I lived when I was growing up. So that's just it. That's all.
I love it. Now, what is something that sticks out to you, like a principle that you really live by that you feel like was passed down to you?
The principle that I live by that I could stick to is, and it's very simple, something that we hear all the time, but folks take it for granted, is to do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. This is the way I heard it. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And that's the same thing. It's do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. So that's what I live by that. I treat
so simple, but so
the way I want to be treated. And all the time, they may not treat you the same way, but that's okay. You've done your part.
Right.
You treated them the right way. So that's what I live by. I like that. I love it. Yes.
That's beautiful. So now tell us the origin of Xtreme Measures Women's Business Center. How did you come up with this concept and then actually move it to a full organization?
For about 20 years, I worked in the healthcare industry, marketing for a healthcare industry. And that allowed me an opportunity to meet a lot of people and help a lot of people, help families get their family members into hospitals and get them to services that they may need it medically. And so after I retired from that industry, I went to work for Louisiana Small Business Development Center that comes through SBA. Mm-hmm. And it came during the COVID time, right before I started, like maybe 2 years before COVID started. So COVID came, and then we got shut down, and we got sent home, and we had to start working from home. So when I went home, they made me the statewide training coordinator for Louisiana. Absolutely loved it, Justin. I got to
That's
meet so
brilliant.
many people just like you and I are talking. This is what we did. This is what I did every day. And I mean, I would literally be in front of my computer sometimes from the morning to like 7, 8 o'clock at night, talking to people, helping people, working people, non-working people, helping them to get them started with starting their own business. We
Mm,
did seminars, we did webinars, we did all this was done through the internet, through the
wow.
computer. It's like, we were in person and I got to meet these people and know them. So once that contract ended, that's what's prompted me to say, okay, we can do this. So I opened up a women's business center. And of course, we help men too and youth.
Mhm.
We don't just help women. We help men and women. So I mean, men, women, and youth. So, but that's how I got to that point from working through SBDC and getting that, you know, and just hearing the excitement in people when they learn that they've learned how to start a business. They can do it. They can actually do it. That feels good. It really feels
That's
good.
got to be so rewarding. So talk about the title, right? Because you said, okay, I'm coming out here, extreme measures. What is that about?
Okay, it's gonna be different now. About maybe 15 years before I even thought, I mean, it wasn't even a thought of having a women's business center. A friend of mine and I, we were sitting down and we were looking at wanting to do something to help our youth in the community.
Hmm.
And so I said, well, you know what, Michelle? We're going to have to go through some extreme measures to get these youth attention.
Wow.
That's where the name came from. So we did that. We had that name, Extreme Measures, and it was something else to it. Not it was something else added to it for youth. And
Mm,
so we sat down, we did an outline and everything of what we were going to do with the youth and everything, and never did it. And I
wow.
mean, I found it just in like 15 years later. I found it in a notebook because I write in notebooks all the time. And I
Yep.
found it in a notebook and I was like, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, extreme measures. I forgot. I believe we had forgot all about it and everything. And I said, I'm going to use this for the name of the Women's Business Center because you know what? It's extreme measures nowadays to get a business started. And if
Wow.
and it's nothing like it used to be when you started when we were growing up. It's nothing like it used to be. You have to go through different steps and there's different things you have to do and things you have to get yourself you have to get yourself certified with and doing different things. So it takes a whole lot now, more than it ever did to start a business. So that's where extreme measures came from, is that
I
name
love
from.
this story because it just speaks to the fact of being faithful with whatever is coming to you, like just writing the ideas down and putting them down. You never
Yes,
know when that ingredient is going to go together with these ingredients 15
it's
years
something
later to make a
else.
cake.
That's right. That's so true. That is so true.
So I
Yes. So
love how
that's
you're
how
living.
we
So,
got that.
yes. Now, talk about
Mhm.
what Extreme Measures is doing. What are the components? What do you do? How do you help these entrepreneurs?
Extreme measures ultimate goal is to help you start a business if you've never had a business before, or help you to expand a business that you're already doing.
Mm,
Now, can help you start a business that you're maybe doing on the side and it's like a little hobby right now,
yep.
or it can also help you expand the business that you're doing on the side and it's like a hobby. And so what we do is we help you to get legal because nowadays before you can get any kind of loans from anywhere, CDFI anywhere, you got to be legal. You got to be a legal business. And
Right.
so that's what we have to do that's what we do is we focus on getting you in that position to where you can actually go into a financial institution or go into other places and say, this is my business, this is what I got, this is what I do, and you can get contracts and different things like that. So
Mhm.
that's what we do. We get you ready for government contracts and all that. So yeah. Mhm.
All the behind the scenes. I mean,
All the
that is
behind the
so good.
scenes.
It's just getting from zero to one, right? Like
100.
getting zero to revenue to, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes so much
that's
sense. What are you seeing as some of the most common barriers that business owners are facing in this current atmosphere? What does it look like, and how are you most helping them, uncover some of those?
the most biggest barrier we have first is fear. That's the
Mm.
first. They're
Whoa, talk
afraid.
about it. We're going there.
They're afraid. They're afraid of what they're afraid of. You know what their biggest fear is? Afraid of? No. Being told no. That's
Mm.
it. This fear is first, and then the second thing is credit.
Mm.
One of the things that all of, for the most part, Americans, and it has, and especially in our community, in our African American community, we never looked at the importance of the credit report and the credit score then when we were young and growing up. Now that we're older, that's the most intricate part of your life right now. Is you
Right.
got to have a good credit score and you got to have a good credit report. You absolutely cannot do hardly anything today without a good credit score and a good credit report. Years ago, when I was born in 1960, growing up in the 60s and the 70s, we didn't even hear anything about credit reports and credit scores. We didn't even hear anything about it. Now that's what people live by. It's credit
Right.
scores and credit reports. So that's the most important thing we see first is fear. They fear starting a business and being told no, credit reports and looking at my background and my history. And then the other thing is also knowing how to pitch their business and who to
Mm.
pitch to. That's another part. It's that part. It's how to pitch their business and how to put together a business plan. When you put together a business plan, that's basically pitching your business because you're telling me what you want to do, how you're going to
Right.
do it, where you're
Yep.
going to do it, who you're going to serve. And they don't see it that way. They look at it as being, this is something that I've never done in my life. I don't know how to put this together. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do a market analysis. I don't know how to do a SWOT analysis. I don't know what that is. So those
Mm.
are the things that we see that mostly our clients fear. And it's common, it's normal, it's common, it's nothing bad because we all got to be taught something. And so
Right.
that's what we do. We teach them. Yeah. So that's
Wow,
it.
and give them the confidence to actually
Yeah,
go and do it.
that's right.
So let's say we have some, because we have a lot of entrepreneurs that tune into this show as well, that may never get to extreme measures, but you got this 30 seconds right here to break them out of their fear. What would you say to them? What is something that you just shake them up and get them moving?
To break them out of their fear.
Yes.
What we will say is this: you're not the first, you're not the last, you're not the only one. So let's
Mm.
go. Get with it. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. You can do it because you're not the first one. You're not the last
Yes.
one. You ain't the only
Yes.
one that either don't know or do know and don't know how to get started, or do know and don't know where to start, or do know or don't know and don't know who to talk to help you. So that's what we
Right.
are. We're there. We're there to
Wow.
help. Yeah.
That's
We're
so
not, we're
powerful.
not, we don't try to uh, belittle anybody. If they don't know, that's okay. We're going to tell them and we're going to teach them.
Mhm.
And we tell them that if you don't know, that's okay. We'll tell you and we'll teach you. And, we don't try to make anybody look like, okay, she's smarter than she is. No, if she knows, then she needs to share it with with her
Right.
classmate. How
Come
did you
on.
get there? How did you get there? We have that too. It's like, share with us how you got to where you are. Share with us if somebody helped you. Share with us if somebody didn't help you.
Mm.
Those things. So we let them know the truth. Everybody's not going to help you. Everybody's not going to want you to start a business. So, you just gotta just buck up and be there. That's
Come
it.
on, buck up and be there. I love this. I feel like I want to go do something right now. You got me fired up.
Well,
Everybody needs some
sometimes they say I
Lindora
can be
Baker.
hard, but I'm not being hard because I'm really caring. That's my me being firm and stern with them is not just trying to say, no, you can't start a business, because I believe anybody can start a business who really want to. My
Yes.
thing is, I'm just trying to get you to a point to where you can stand up with the big boys and say, look, I got my business and I'm doing this and I'm going to take it to another level. So
Yes, come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Now,
I'm
okay, so I got
excited.
something. Okay, this is good. Now, I want to give some shout outs in the chat here. I see some of
Okay.
my alliance colleagues, Isis Pierre, Lodge Jean-Jacques, and
I
Richard
saw that.
Moore in. Oh yeah, Richard Moore in the building. Good to have you all here. Who else is here in the digital space with us? Drop your name in the chat. Drop what you're up to. We love having this. And if you have any questions while you have the brilliant Miss Baker here, you need to take advantage and
Oh,
ask. Oh yeah, no, look at hey, no, you already see she's coming in hot. She's coming in fired up, ready to go. So you got to make sure that you ask your questions here today. Now, you mentioned something and this triggered because this is where I was wanting to go next. Is like, you're playing with the big boys. Now,
okay.
speaking of the big boys, you decided to focus on women specifically. Now,
Right.
we are sitting here today on National Women's Entrepreneurship Day. I can't take credit for that. I wish I was smart enough to have Xtreme Measures Women's Business Center on for Women's Entrepreneurship Day, but it's just God loves me most, so that's why
Yes,
this
it.
was taken
That's it.
this was taken
There
care
you
of
go.
today. Talk about this focus on women entrepreneurship. Why? What are you seeing? Give us the scope, the landscape there.
And you really want to know where I really got a lot of
I
things.
really want to know, and I'm going to take a sip of my coffee.
Okay. Don't laugh. It's Madam C.J. Walker.
Mm.
She was determined, and she did what she needed to do to go. And you know what? When I saw that, I said, that's what I want to do. I want to help somebody to get to that same point. So that's what my motivation came from, to go out there and pull in the women, because of the fact that and I'm not a type person that, I'm not a woman that say, okay, this is a man's world, blah, blah, blah. I'm not that type woman that say that. But what I am saying is this, is that at Xtreme Measures Women Business Center, yes, we focus mostly on women because of the fact that there are more men in business to me than it is women. There are few, there are women that are in business and women that have businesses, but for the most part, a male is the one that, and that's what we heard growing up, is a
Right.
man always had the business.
Right.
The women, they had businesses, but their businesses were like sewing or ironing or something like
Sure.
that. And no offense to that, I didn't have any problem with that.
Sure.
But for women now to step up and be CEOs and presidents, that's what we're looking to do, is to get more women CEOs and presidents in our in nowadays today. And so that's why we looked at focusing on women, because it's just it's just, we need more women business owners. We do. We really do.
We really do.
And then, because this is the world, this is now, we're living in a world for it now. When we were growing up, the man was the breadwinner of the house. The father was a breadwinner, and he was the one that would go out and work. And if he had a little business on the side, he was the one that did the business to make the money. The mom took care of the kids in the house. Well, now times have changed. And so that's another reason why we focus on women, is to give them something and boost them to get out and stand up and be presidents and be CEOs, and own businesses, and several businesses, not just one, but own several businesses, and own chains and everything. So I think I read I had a quote somewhere from Bill Gates. Bill Gates told his employees to motivate yourself to help increase the productivity, that you had to motivate yourself. And so that's what we do. We motivate women to help increase their mindset, to get to the point where they can say, yeah, I can do this. I can be a CEO. I can be a president.
Damn right. Can I say that? Yeah. Can I say that? I told you I keep it 100. Well, and what a disservice that we would be doing to have all of this brilliance and power and creativity not brought to the table in society, not brought to the table in really powerful ways. I mean, you have, like, to me, and this is just my bias, I really think this might be why women are, I think, smarter than men in a lot of ways. Like, and I'm not saying like but I'm saying they bring so much to the table, and we have men thinking that, okay, men need to be the ones running things or blah, blah, blah. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, we're missing so much brilliance. And I think we'd be in a lot better shape. This is my take. You know, the opinions are of Justin Minott. I think we'd be in a lot better shape if women were in more positions of power rather than having men. And especially, you know, you kind of stack the layers. It's like white men are, you know, and all of the ways that plays out in these narratives, right? Like, what are we missing out on by not having women in real positions of authority and power? I think we're missing out on a lot. And I think the world would be in a lot better shape. That's my take.
Missing out on care. You're missing out on power. You're missing out on women think different from men. And, you know, women think about the whole part and everybody. Men only think about what they got to get done to get what they need to keep being successful. Women think outside the box. They said, okay, well, yeah, we're going to be successful, but we also going to do this and help somebody else be successful as well. Men only think about just that narrow little part that they see that they're going down that little narrow road. Women, they on a 6-lane road because they're
right.
You know,
with multi-state,
think about a woman in a house. She wash, she cooks, she do all that at the same time, cooking and washing at the same time. I mean, yeah, she said that approves led by women. That's right. So that's true. But see, you know, women, we are more broader with our minds because of the fact that we've always had to do more than one thing at one time. And so men only had to think about one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And then when they get to so many, 3, maybe 2 or 3, then they through thinking, they finished. That's it. That's where they going. Women, we keep going farther and farther and farther. We go all the way grade 1st through 12, you know, with children. You know, we're thinking about that. We're thinking about our children. We're thinking about our family. We're thinking about our home. We're thinking about
community,
church. And so that's where reason why women are more better at being business owners and presidents and CEOs than men. No offense to men now, but women do have a more thought process of being a better president and CEO than men do. And that's why we're focusing on helping enhance them. And a lot of them need encouragement. A lot of them need to be told that they can do that because they only think that they can do that in certain arenas, but you can do it in different arenas, you know, even in a business. Yes, you know, just utilize that, what you got in you, and take it to your business and you be on your way.
That's it. Well, and I think a lot of times people look at, you know, what is not there for them to do it, but look at, you know, the superpowers that you do have and what you do have available in there. And again, I just feel like it does a disservice to everybody because even men, I would want to speak to, you know, people that identify as men, like integrating more of this holistic approach to life will make you a better leader in all of these things, thinking beyond the narrow moment, thinking about your community, integrating like your heart deeply into the work, right? Like we'd all be better if we were learning from one another and growing in some of these ways. So I want to talk about something specific, continuing down this road. I'm taking a little bit of a risky path today.
Okay.
But you know, my alliance team, Isis, Richard, and Lauds, they know that this is not new for me to take, you know, a few risks here. So this is the one, is I hear a lot in terms of the narratives around men and women. And this is, again, you know, like it's non-binary, but kind of going with these generalities here. With men and women, I have never, ever in my life heard somebody refer to me as a dad boss, right? It's like, oh, he's a dad boss.
Right.
But however, when it comes to women, she is a mom boss, right? I have never, ever in my life heard someone say that he is a working dad. But she is now a working mom.
Yeah.
Right. And what the hell? Right. Like in terms of, and you just got to think about how deep this kind of internalized structures go, even in how we, you know, refer to how we do our things in society. You know, in society, I'm a dad and I work.
That's right.
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 And, and there's a shout out to all the really active dads in there. But even when a dad goes and does things, is involved in their kid's life, right? They're an active dad.
Yeah, an actor. Yeah. Yeah.
When a mom does any of those things times 10, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And I think that is some BS all around, that we got to actually deconstruct these narratives, right? And I'm not saying, like, if someone wants to identify as a mom boss, okay, and that's great. That feels empowering. That's beautiful. But this double standard is whack, that is like, oh, all of a sudden, like no one would ever call me a dad boss. That's just the boss who happens to be a dad, and he happens to, take care of his kids, or happens, whatever. But these narratives, like, we just got to deconstruct even how we think about, all of the ways intersectionality in society. So this is kind of my thing. What's your initial take to this?
I'm not. I live by the way I was raised. So here's my thing: is one of the things that we need to do is we need to take a look back and look at where we, in the way we were raised, and how we were taught when we were coming up, and we've gotten so far away from that. And that to me, that's one thing that really has destroyed our culture, is the fact that we don't practice what we were taught. And to me, I think that was the best lesson we could have ever had. I mean, the computers are fine, all this AI and all this stuff is fine, but it's nothing like a real mother telling you, son, I love you, or a real dad saying, yes, son, I'm there for you, or yes, daughter, I'm there for you. It's nothing like that. So it's the same thing when it comes to business owners. And I think about Mr. Kimball, who used to have, Mr. Henson, who used to have the neighborhood dry cleaners. And Mr. Henson would address men by their first name and call them Mr. First Name. And Miss Shepherd, who had the neighborhood washateria and beauty shop, she would call the women that would come there and wash their clothes and dry their clothes Miss So-and-so by their first name. So it wasn't like, she's a house mother or she's a housewife because she does this. It was like, that's who you are. And so what I'm saying is that the old school to me, the old principle to me, it worked because it worked for me in my life. And I've seen other people that it worked for them in their life. The way we are now, and that, with all these new words and all this, new way of communicating and tech, and all that, we don't, it's just, I'm not really into it. I really think that we just need to stay who we are and just enhance what we got and what we were given, which was a world of jewels, a treasure chest of jewels, and use those jewels that we were given to now enhance not only our kids, but to help them to enhance their kids that come on after them. And don't get caught up in a name or and all this different new stuff. Just be Justin. That's it. That's who it is. That's it. Justin is so-and-so's dad. Okay. Lindora is Vanessa's grandmother. That's all. That's it. So I'm just regular common person. That's all.
I love the way you're looking at life. Like, you're living a life of love and respect for everybody, and that's beautiful. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Lewis in the chat here, just putting some gems in here. And I see you, brother, as a dadpreneur doing this work and challenging some of these narratives and these supposed norms. I love what you're doing out in this space. All right, so now going deeper into your work here. You are somebody who is passionate about service, about helping others. And it just reminds me of the late Inez Long, Miss Inez Long, just an incredible gem and a rock star in this industry who passed recently. And just honoring that legacy of service. What does that mean for you? Like, what does service mean? Or where did you get this idea that helping people is important? Why does that give you so much life?
Well, when I was in the healthcare industry, and I helped people to get, physicians that they needed, or hospital stays that they needed, or home health services that they needed, or whatever type services that they needed. Um, it really made me feel good. But what really made me feel the best is when I would see their face and see their smiles, and hear their thank yous and how grateful they were, and then to see them get healed and walk out the hospital.
Mm.
That's what kind of helped build me and build this service industry in my heart, is because of that way that when I delivered the services to other people, and then got how grateful they were coming back from them. So
Yeah.
it really made me feel good. And plus, when I was growing up and I was a little girl, my grandmother, she used to raise a huge garden. And so what she would do is every summer when she get her peas and beans would be, ready to pick. She'd pick those we would pick them peas
Uh-huh.
and beans, and then she would bag them up and send us out the door with them to the different neighbors. Take this to Miss Minnie, take this to Miss
Wow.
Jessica, take this to Miss Anime, take this to Miss Genevieve. So that's what, that's where I get the service from. It was just, and I know I keep reverting back to that, but that's just my life. That's what I live on, is that. And I think about all those things that she taught us
Mm.
we were growing up, about being a service person to others and helping others and doing things for others. And she never looked for anything in return. She just sent it out and, didn't look for nothing in return. We didn't have to get no money or nothing. Just go take it to them and come on back home. That was it. Yeah.
That's well, you know what's most encouraging, and I love that you keep coming back to your roots on this, is me now, present day, I'm raising 2 kids, right? And thinking about the ways that they engage in life. They're with somebody who's really passionate about advancing equity and all these things. And I think about, what's their story going to be like? On the other side, however many years from now, to say, well, because I had this experience or that experience, it shaped how I do. So I think about that now, like rolling it out 30 years down the road. Like, what does that
Oh my God, that's gonna
really
be
look like?
yours. That's it. Yes.
I love it. They're fantastic humans. I want to grow up to be like them. I
That's
really,
great.
I love
That
it.
is great.
Powerful Black women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
great.
where was I going with that?
I
Oh,
know.
now here's what I want to know. You're talking about, how service has shaped the work that you're doing, and just being able to see somebody come out of the hospital healed. What does that feel like now when it comes to entrepreneurs? Like when you see this, right? When you see an entrepreneur, do you have a story that comes to mind of somebody who, came to you one way and left another way, and just how fulfilling that was for you?
I do. I have one client, especially. She didn't know nothing. She said, Miss Lindora, she said, I don't know anything about starting a business. And I said, okay, well, what type of business you want to start? And she told me what type of business she wanted to start. And so we sat down. I would say, well, we have a 16-week cohort, and that cohort, has different titles to it each week, each quarter, 3 weeks. And so I said, and once you go through this 16 weeks cohort, our expectations is for you to be able to actually get your business started. What she wanted to do was open up a boutique. And she went through that program. And her biggest fear was the first thing that we teach, and that's pre-purchase counseling, which deals with your credit report, your credit score, and all that. And that was her biggest fear. She's like, "Oh no, I won't be able to get a loan because I can't. I know my credit score is not a good credit score." And so, and it's kind of ties into the reason why I wanted to do CDFI here, is because. I have a good friend of mine, and she worked for CDFI in New Orleans. And so I contacted her and got them two together. She helped her to get a small business loan, and her boutique is open right now.
Come on.
Yes, it
That's
is
beautiful.
open right now. And so this is what I did. She was texting me and calling me to tell me about the grand opening of the business. And so we had another friend that teach my business banking class. We were mutual friends, the three of us. And so my business banking teacher was telling me, she's like, she's trying to call you and tell you, to come to the grand opening, come to the grand opening. I said, I know. I said, I'm not going to respond back because I want to surprise her. And I did. I bought her a bouquet of flowers and surprised her and went over there. And she was just so excited. It was really,
Got to roll up on her.
yes, it really was. I mean, that was her biggest fear was the credit part and getting a loan to do it. She did everything else with a breeze. I didn't even have to fuss at her about her business plan. She did a business plan, did an immaculate business plan. And she was ready, but she just did not want to face a loan officer. And so my friend in New Orleans is CDFI officer. She helped her to get that. I don't know. I've never been to a banker for a loan, for a business loan, but it's like CDFI loan officers are different. They just so more passionate than than you just going to a big bank institution. They're just more passionate for you, and they can hear you and hear what you're trying to do, and they don't mind trying to help you and tell you which way you need to go to get the help. So that's what I love about CDF. So that's kind of tying together. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. I mean, you couldn't have said that any better. I love how passionate our CDFI members are at the Alliance, these Black-led CDFIs deploying capital in places that, have no access to capital. They're just passionate, like their heart is in it, and they're brilliant in the ways that they're bringing it to market. So excited for you to be on that track and get your certification, start deploying capital, all of those things, which, by the way, if you're tuning in, we have an associate member program at the Alliance, an associate membership where emerging CDFIs, Black-led CDFIs can come in and get help with, figuring out that path and all those things. So make sure if you're on that track that you reach out to us. Ms. Lindora, is there anything else that you want to share with the good people of LinkedIn before we sign off? One closing thought. Actually, well, no, I got to go here first, and then we can do our closing thought.
Okay.
What does Black liberation mean to you?
I know I looked at that and I thought about that and I said, he's not going to ask me.
Oh, no, I'm coming.
I know you are. I know you are. You know what it means? It means for us to come together in our communities and help each other get started, help each other to put together a great. You know what it would be like if we were to have our communities come together and do a business plan to do a grocery store and a washateria. We need those still because everybody don't have a wash and dry, and barbershops, and even our barbershops have gotten out of the community, and in our beauty shops, they're in malls and stuff now. They, and so
not embedded in the community,
not embedded in the community. So
right.
What a Black liberation to me is that those of us who has the knowledge and has the wisdom, has the contacts, and know what to do to help bring and enhance those hidden small business owners that we have in those communities. If we were to find them and help them and support them to help build up our community back with small businesses, that could help grow our communities even better. Now, that's what liberation means to me, is that we come together as people and support and help each other. That's what I'm hoping one day we can do, is to build up our small businesses in our communities, in our Black communities, because we don't have them anymore. They're closed down. It's just gone. And we even though we have the Krogers and the Brookshires and all those large Belks and all that, different stores like that, and Dillard's and all, we may have all that, but then you know what? The small businesses still work for our community. And we need to know that they do. They still work. And, small businesses helped our communities. It helped our communities financially. It helped our communities be more beautiful, more beautified, and it's just a difference. It was a difference when we had community business owners living in the community and then doing their business in the same community that they lived in. It was a difference. Now that everything is gone, our communities are gone. We're just losing them. And it bothers me to see that a lot of our communities have went to a lot of just empty lots now, where dilapidated buildings that have deteriorated or just torn down, and it's just an empty lot now. That bothers me because of the fact that that means that we're losing our communities.
Right. And that sense of interconnectivity.
Yeah, we're not connected anymore. You know, it's bad enough that social media has divided us, and and not having us communicate with each other in person and through, like we used to. But when we get to the point where we let this just society just take away our businesses and our small businesses in our community, that hurts, and that hurt us. And that's, to me, what liberation is, to help bring our small businesses back to our communities.
Wow.
That's more powerful, I think.
I love it. I love it. Miss Lindora, you are wonderful. Okay, so how do we do today? Not bad, huh?
Not bad. It was good. It was. It sure was.
Oh, I love it. I have so enjoyed this conversation.
I have too, and I thank you so very much. And thank all of you all too that joined. And to Mr. Boyd, no offense to you being a dadpreneur. Congratulations on that. Yes, and I applaud him for being a stay-at-home father he stays with his kids. So I applaud him for that. We don't have, he's building a relationship with his kids, and he's teaching them what he wants them to hear and not what they need to hear and out there on the outside. So I applaud you for that. So
shout out. I love it. And thanks for everybody for tuning in. It's been great to have you here in this digital space. One thing I do want to say before, because Miss Lindora was telling me at the start of the show that the Dallas Cowboys lost last night. She's not a Cowboys fan. Don't worry. We don't have to pray. We don't have to pray for her, but I just want to send my condolences to all the Cowboys fans out there having a really rough season this year. My, thoughts and prayers. What else? I think that's it. So thank you for being here. I would ask, if you have the ability, please share this interview out, because we want to amplify the work of Miss Lindora Baker and Xtreme Measures. And also always want to advance the work of Black-led CDFIs in this space. So please share this.
Thank you so much, Justin. I really appreciate it. It was great.
Of course. And keep rising. The Alliance is in your corner now and always. So here to help.
All righty.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Is Black money.
About economic liberation and freedom.
Critical conversations to invigorate our communities through Black-led CDFIs.
But most importantly, we want people to create wealth.
When we look at our communities, we still see a big disinvestment.
Going from resourceful to resourced.
CDFIs have that high touch. They understand their customers. They know how to reach out to those customers. They stay in touch with those customers.
We are trying to create job makers and not just job takers.
Yeah, I've even heard it said recently that great leaders don't lead from the top down, they lead from the bottom up, because they're actually lifting everybody.
We have to do more than just being a regular lender.
Don't give me this story about if I teach you how to fish. Give me some money.